At Sharon's place, Mariah and Nick discuss Sharon being jumpy and on edge. He wonders if JT's abuse brought up reminders of her old boyfriend. They need to get her to talk. Sharon wonders what they're talking about, and Mariah covers before leaving. Nick takes a call about an incident at Faith's school. He and Sharon take off. They return with Faith later, disappointed that she's been suspended for a day. Faith talks about dealing with a boy who is bullying girls. No one else would stop him. Sharon blurts, "So you had to." Faith finishes her story, which ended in Thomas crying and her friends angry that she told the teacher the truth. Nick advises her. Once Faith's upstairs, Nick reminds Sharon the same goes for her. If there's anything bothering her, she can't tell him. After, Mariah finds Sharon upset and doesn't buy her cover story. She reminds her mother she can tell her anything, she'll take it to the grave. Sharon rambles that she's stressed about sending Nick mixed signals and jeopardizing what they have as friends, then thanks a bewildered Mariah for listening. Neil greets Nikki at the ranch. She goes to find Victor, but he's not where she left him. Neil notes he's not up walking around. How far could he get? Nikki reminds him it's Victor. They find him working with his physiotherapist and secretary in the stables. Nikki sends the women for a break and lectures Victor about pushing it. Victor talks about the JT Hellstroms of the world preying on the weak. He's determined to be back in form in a week. Nikki assures him everything's under control at Newman, he can take his time. Neil agrees, no one is challenging his position. Victor chews about finding that son of a bitch, JT, and showing him he's failed. Nikki, agitated, asks Neil to talk sense into him. Once alone, Victor tells Neil about the video of JT abusing Victoria and vows to get him. Neil promises to be there for his friend. Vic wants a double shot of tequila, but Neil pours the bottle out, citing his recovery. Victor and Neil discuss their children. Vic notes Nikki's gotten closer to Victoria during this JT situation. Talk turns to marriage. Victor confides that he and Nikki have outside partners. Victor keeps working out, then tries to stand without help as Neil protests. Victor collapses. At the club, Billy kisses Phyllis for being understanding about them having the kids so much. He wants to drop them off to Victoria later, but Phyllis insists they should keep them and give Vicky more time. Billy appreciates her putting her personal differences with Victoria aside, she's going above and beyond. Phyllis comments that seeing Victoria deal with these issues changes perspective. Billy wonders if Victoria needs to talk about JT, but Phyllis urges him to let her grieve the relationship. At Crimson Lights, Nikki updates Nick that Victor knows about her and Arturo and wants him off their project. Nick's irked, he thinks Victor needs to deal with the bigger picture. Phyllis appears. Nick tells the women about Faith and the bully. Talk turns to Sharon having insomnia and nightmares. Nikki's certain she's just overworked, and Phyllis advises him not to read too much into it. He leaves, and Nikki and Phyllis fear that Sharon's cracking and they'll all wind up in prison. Nikki feels they must remind her what JT did, and of the consequences if anyone finds out. Hillary appears and guesses they're discussing JT's disappearance. Nikki warns Hillary, then leaves. Hillary tells Phyllis she heard about the girls' night from Mariah, and wonders why she wasn't invited. Hillary seems upset, then confesses she's not pregnant after having announced it. She doesn't know what to do. Phyllis wonders about Devin's reaction. Hillary admits she didn't tell him yet and explains the complications. Suddenly, Phyllis says something that reminds Hillary she has Devin's sample, she'll use it and he'll never know about the setback. Next on The Young and the Restless. Billy considers a new alliance.